to Session 8 of the work of the Minister of Youth. In this session, I want to spend some time talking about the developmental stages. You've had some time to do some reading in the textbook and also in the session notes about the various developmental theories, whether it's Piaget or Erikson. But today I want to introduce you to someone who compiled the various theories into his own stages, and they can be pretty beneficial to us as we think about how we can effectively minister to students. These are the stages, developmental stages as compiled by Steve Patty. And so what Patty is saying in stage 1 is that this is the fantasy play and discovery stage. And we're not really concerned about that in youth ministry because all of this in this stage is for preschool and children, and it's prior to puberty, and so we're not really concerned about stage 1. So let's start at stage 2. Stage 2, Patty says, is all about learning by doing. And now at this stage, these are students that are late elementary age, so maybe our 5th and 6th graders. Many of our youth ministries have 5th and 6th in with the teenage, the youth department. Maybe it's a middle school situation, so it's 5th and 6th, maybe 7th, maybe 8th grade. So that's what we're talking about at stage 2. It's all about learning by doing. These students are plugged into the tangible, to the real, what they can experience. We think in terms of how powerful object lessons can be. And so if you have an object that you can bring in to the classroom or that you're sharing with students and you're demonstrating some kind of object and drawing out some spiritual component from that or relating it to a spiritual story or biblical account, then they are really relating to that and locked in on you when you can share and talk with them with the tangible or the concrete. Also, the active and the participatory is huge. So if you can have opportunities for them to get up from their seats and to move around the room, if you can give them an opportunity to be in competition with one another, just make sure in the competition that you're giving a clear explanation of the rules. They're all about wanting to know what the rules are and making sure that if someone's not following the rules, that you are playing and that you're fair in how you're judging this competition. They want to know if someone is breaking the rules or not playing by the rules, that they'll maybe be disqualified. They're all about that concept of fairness at this stage. Next stage, stage 3, relationships matter most. So here Patty is saying that now our late middle school students, they're really focused on the relationships that they have with their friends. They're beginning to have those relationships with the opposite sex and think about it and wonder about those things, but they're also locked in on those friendships that they have with their peers. And so at this stage, it's all about what their friends think. Many times a student may have a favorite team, or they may like an artist or want to go see a movie, but they question whether or not they should or not, and so they ask their friends, what do you think about this team? What do you think about this music? Or what do you think about this movie? And if the friend is affirming that and says they like that, then they as an individual say, okay, yeah, I like that too. And what they're doing is that their friendships or their relationships are helping them understand who they are. They're interpreting life through their relationships. And so we want to understand that many times you will have activities and you'll have great speakers and you'll have great events at your church, but none of that really matters if their friends aren't coming. So the key question that students at this stage ask is, who's going to be there? And if my friend is coming to church, if my friend is a part of that small group, if my friend is going to camp, then I'm going to go to camp. Otherwise, I'm not going to be there. And it's a difficult stage to be in. It's difficult for us as leaders because we so want what's best for them, right? We want them to be plugged in and to be a part. But what we also have to remember is that we want to not just reach the individual, we want to reach that friend group. And if we can reach that friend group or that circle of friends, then we can get more opportunity to reach those groups that are associated with those friends. Stage 4 is meaning making. Stage 4, meaning making. At this stage, Patty is saying that students have reached formal operational thinking. That's a reference to Piaget. We're analyzing, we're synthesizing concepts and ideas, and also what we understand about faith. It's at this stage that individuals who are now late in high school, so these are our juniors and seniors, these are our college-age students. They're all about understanding and figuring out what life is all about. What does life mean to them? What does my job or career choice mean to me? And why is this significant? And am I making a difference? We have an opportunity here to really help our students come to terms with their understanding of faith and their understanding of God's plan for their life at this stage, at stage 4. Before I end the video, I want to also talk about one other developmental theorist, and that's James Fowler. James Fowler developed the stages of faith, and he developed a series of stages where he showed and demonstrated how individuals work and progress through different stages of belief. And I want to focus in on one particular stage, and that's the individuative reflective stage. This is the maturing faith stage, and at this stage, a person begins to change from viewing faith as the faith of someone else that I'm sort of following, to turning to internalizing that faith, and that faith becoming real to the individual. That's that individuative aspect of this definition. So it's not just my parents' faith or my pastor's faith, it's my faith. It's what I believe. And this is what we're wanting students to come to understand, right? Many times our middle school students aren't there. Sometimes even our high school students aren't there. But what we're wanting to do is encourage each and every individual in our youth group and youth ministry to come to the point where they buy in, right? They have ownership of their faith. The reflective aspect of this is how that happens. We must give students an opportunity to truly reflect on, analyze, have critical thoughts about faith and belief. And so many times we can maybe get upset when students express doubt. Maybe we have a tendency to say, no, you're not really doubting it, it's okay. Instead of trying to encourage that student and to let them know it's okay to express doubt, because it's in those moments of doubt that we are wrestling with our understanding of faith, our understanding of Scripture, our understanding of who God is. And this is necessary, Fowler is telling us, because unless we wrestle, unless we question, unless we have that opportunity to truly reflect, then we don't have an opportunity then to truly internalize and make that faith our own. I want to encourage you with a resource called Can I Ask That? This is a resource that is a tremendous help to me in my own ministry, and I want to share it with you. There's book 1 and book 2, and in this resource, they provide a number of questions that students have. Questions like, can I trust that the Bible is true? What does the Bible and God have to say about homosexuality and gay marriage? These are questions that many times our students are afraid to ask us about. Many times they feel like, well, it's not appropriate for me to ask that in church or to ask that of my pastor or my youth minister. This gives that an opportunity to address those just in an open forum, and also resources. There's a leader book and a student book for you to work through and help your students understand some of these questions and doubts that we might have about our faith and belief. And it's when we do that, when we give students that opportunity to do that, it's when they have an opportunity to experience and have that truly maturing faith. Well, I want to close by reminding you to post on the discussion board on Blackboard. Remember, that's due October 16th. And also you want to be working on article review 2. All right, so this second article review is coming up due. That's due later in October, October 23rd. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope you have a great week.